Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. Cheers. Mwah. So you're going to read another little chunk out of this book, okay?
So Jeffrey and I have been working on this book that we're going through, and we're sharing parts of it. And the video before this was relationships, self-sabotage, or comfort. This video is self-sabotage or comfort part 2. So make sure you check out part 1 first. So everything's going great in this brand new relationship, and then you test its authenticity to challenge it. You just went from focusing on all the love and beauty you initially felt, and rather than continuing to nurture the relationship, the you that initially attracted the other person to you is no longer giving. That you is now questioning, doubting, and that you in that moment is now on a different path to a relationship now filled with all that you just gave it, which is fear and questioning of authenticity, etc. So I'm just going to stop there for 1 second, because before that, you're madly in love and you're, at that high frequency of love, and you're giving this other person the best vibes ever, and they're doing the same back. All of a sudden you decide that you need to test it, right? Why do we do that?
I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of people do that because it's an insecurity. All of a sudden, you're not feeling 100% about yourself.
I guess that makes sense.
Right?
You have to keep asking questions. Does this person want something else out of me? There's got to be another reason. Maybe I'm not good enough for this person, right?
Bingo. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. Or there must be something wrong with them if they like me. All these things go through your mind because that's your pattern. That's the pattern that you keep getting into, and you desperately need to recognize it so that you can get out of it. So just to get back to reading this paragraph, so you've changed that relationship by putting that fear, that questioning of authenticity, etc., that you chose in that moment to hop off the path of what could lead to a successful relationship, which is a relationship filled with love and authenticity and happiness. And instead, you reached out, grabbed a different life track, right?
Yeah.
Everything's going so great, and you're on a track that's going so great with somebody, you just derailed it.
Well,
right?
you're talking about a different life track. So as you guys know, there's multiple life tracks out in front of you, unlimited, infinite amount. So you're heading down a path with a great relationship. Now you're heading down a path with a rocky relationship because you're questioning it. You could just break up completely, go another way, down a different path. But basically, every second, every moment of your life, you're making decisions to choose to go down one of these paths or stay on the path that you're on.
Right.
And we have 100% control over our life track and the one that we're on, whether we maintain it or move to another one. I mean, that's the beauty of this.
Right.
Because of the beautiful gift of choice that we've been given, we're able to make a choice at any given moment. Take a right or a left. Stay on the straight if you want, right?
Exactly. So, and that's basically where it picks up, is this is critical to understand that this was your choice. This testing of the person's authenticity puts you in their eyes now in a light different from the person they were attracted to. It's not actually you testing them, but you projecting all that fear and doubt and ingenuine feelings towards them. And it may initiate a feeling on their part that perhaps you're not the person they thought you were, and they need to take a few steps backwards, and look at the relationship. So you created that reaction. You chose it. It's so important to know that you did all that. It's funny because when you test somebody, you do it and you want them to say, oh, no, but I love you. But that's not what you're asking for, right? You're asking for this. The relationship is perfect. All of a sudden you test it you have chosen to put it on a totally different track than it was on. And it's never a good track once you start to question the authenticity. And I'm not talking about a relationship that isn't authentic. We're talking about something that's going great.
Right.
Where all of a sudden you have this pattern of ruining the perfect relationship.
Some people
each
have this
time.
pattern, you're saying.
Exactly. Right. I mean, this isn't everybody. Some people that, I think everybody has experienced this before. And there's really, it's very difficult to recoup back from that, because now that person is looking at you and they're looking at you as desperate, and it's just not a good thing. So
Right.
it's just another, you're no longer the person they thought you were. You chose a different path to a new path that is not conducive to creating a relationship, but instead this person showing up at this moment, this you, is all about themselves and their insecurities, and that's just not attractive, right? Initially you start testing the person because you think, oh, if they really care about you, they'll fight for you. Well, at the same time, what you're doing is pushing them away. Subconsciously, here's the answer. Subconsciously, you don't feel like you're good enough. This often occurs during the honeymoon phase, although it can happen after time too, which is often why some couples even get divorced. Everything's going great, and then you encounter thoughts, or perhaps you've fallen out of love with yourself, and because you're lacking in self-love, you just can't have anyone else love you. The way the universe works is it gives you more of what you already have, or what you're focusing on.
Right.
And that's why the power of gratitude is so powerful, as it allows you to be thankful for what you already have in your own self-love, therefore delivering more love to you from others. So if this is not present, you can't receive it. So you've got to have that self-love. There's a great saying that you only know what you know. And sometimes you know this, but again, you have fallen out of love with yourself. And because again, this usually does happen in initial states of relationships, but some people might be saying, wow, I've been together with this person for a year, or I've been married to this person, and I'm starting to question and doubt what was the perfect relationship. Chances are that you're doubting the relationship because you somewhere lost your own self-love, your own self-worth, your own self-value. Maybe you've changed to try to be something you thought they wanted to be, or whatever. So, and that never works. If they were attracted to you, you didn't know anything about them, so you weren't trying to be what you thought they needed to be because you didn't know them. You were being yourself. They really liked you. Now all of a sudden you're trying to be something you think they want you to be, and the relationship's gone.
And you said it, this doesn't have to be a brand new relationship. I mean, because we've had plenty of friends that got divorced after 20 years or 30 years of marriage, and they've just decided that, hey, maybe we've grown apart. You hear that a lot too, where they feel like they don't have anything in common. But at the end of the day, this is just a person, one or both, questioning the relationship, questioning, do we have anything in common?
Right.
Can we have fun together anymore?
Right.
It's like once you start having all of that, you bring up those low vibrational questions about the fear of losing a relationship, or maybe it's just the anger of, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else over here. Mm-hmm. All those low vibrations get put on the relationship. So there again, you're basically choosing your life track, whether it's you're in month 2 or if you're in year 22, right? Of the relationship.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people in year 22 can kind of pinpoint, it's really rare that someone will say, it really took me by surprise that he or she wanted a divorce. If they really thought about it, perhaps they were, the relationship had changed because one or both of the people were not feeling good about themselves. And that's really what it's all about. A lot of times people will go out and cheat at this point in time because they're not feeling good about themselves. So they're going to seek outside sources that are, it's an unhealthy way to do it, but people do it. They shop, they cheat, they buy things, they, gamble. They're trying to find what it is that they've lost within themselves, and it isn't out there. It's inside.
Right.
So, again, everything comes back to self-love. But this is so important because we talk to so many people who say that they're in this situation. Well, everything was going great. I don't know what happened. This is what happened. Right?
Exactly.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the nest at Copper Mountain.
Thanks, guys.